Welcome, here I've got ASUS ROG Phone 5 and I'm gonna show you how to use the camera Pro mode at this device. So at first we have to tap on the camera button to open it, and for now we are in the standard photo mode. Let's change it by using this settings bar and just simply going to the right to more. Here we have access to other modes of this camera, and one of this is the Pro. So let's pick it. Here we are, now we can start using it, and this mode gives us possibilities to choose some shooting parameters by ourselves. This is useful when we want to learn photographic skills or making experiments with photography. So let me start with this settings bar. Let's go from the right. The first one option here gives us access to this slider, and now we can manage the white balance of our picture, so the temperature. By going to the left or right we can manage it. From the left we have more cold light. In Kelvin degrees we have also these small icons that suggest us which light is good to which conditions we have in the area where we take a photo. So now we are on the tungsten light. By going to the right we can make our picture more warm. The next one here is the white fluorescent light, then the sunny light, and here we have also the cloudy. And this is how to use this. Of course, we can easily go back to auto white balance by tapping on this auto button from the left, and now we are again on auto settings. Let's move to the next one button. Here we have the exposure compensation slider, so we can manage the light of our picture. By going to the right we can make it more bright. By going to the left we can make it more dark. At the center we have 0 parameter, so now we are again on auto exposure compensation. Let's move to the next one button, the ISO. Here we can control camera's sensitivity to light. We can make it less sensitive from 25, and by going to the right more sensitive to 3 and 2000. So I think this spectrum is really wide, like this kind of camera. And of course, to go back to the auto ISO we have to just simply tap on this auto button from the left. And the next one thing here is the shutter speed. So here we can manage the time of taking picture. We can make it much shorter from the left, from 1 and 10,000 of seconds. So this is really short time, and this should be definitely better to objects that are in move, for example to frozen them at the picture. By going to the right we can make it much longer. The longest here is 32 seconds, so this should be definitely better to objects that are stable. Of course, we can easily go back to auto shutter speed by again tapping on this auto button in the left on the slider. And I want to show you one extra thing. These two buttons, the shutter speed and ISO together, are kind of exposure compensation. So here, when we adjust them correctly, we can manage the light of the picture, and now the exposure compensation is not needed. So when we want to use this and move it, the shutter speed and ISO is automatically reset to auto. So remember about this, you can use the exposure compensation separately, but if you want to use the shutter speed and the ISO, this goes to the auto settings. So let me show you. Now the exposure compensation is reset to 0. And let's move to the next one button here, the focusing. We are on autofocus. By using this slider we can change this to the manual one and use this like that. Of course, we can go back to auto settings by tapping on the beginning, and now let's tap on this manual button. This is also a really cool thing from the device. Now we are on manual settings, so we can adjust them. We can also create some kind of filters, so C1 and C2. When we adjust these settings here like that, maybe let me stay here, for example, it saves them on this one, so we can move back to the manual and stay again on the auto settings, use this, but when we tap again to the C1, every time we open the app and the Pro mode, we stay on this settings. We can adjust also the C2, so maybe let me give this the colder white balance to show you the difference. And now when we go back to the C1, we have these parameters. In manual we have the standard auto, and when we go back again to DC tool, it saves this. So this is really cool if you want to have short and quick access to your own settings and create your own kind of filter. You can also use the last one button on this settings by I want to show you. So when we slide to the left, we have reset button, and now when we tap here, all of this in C2 goes back to the auto. So we don't have to separately reset all of this on the sliders. If you need to go back in all of that to auto settings, you have to just tap here. Now let's stay on M, so manual, and let's move to the left corner to this button to open the advanced camera settings, because here in the promote we have a few extra things. Let's start with camera resolution. When we pick it, we can manage the resolution of the picture aspect ratio, and in the promote we have RAW plus JPEG, so one extra thing to save our pictures in better format. RAW format is used by professional photographers to taking pictures with more details, with more quality, and post-producing them in graphic programs, and this device gives us possibility to save this on that. So I think this is really pro thing. But when you pick whatever else here, you go back to standard JPEG. Remember about that. And now let's slide here and pick the metering mode. Here we can pick between center weighted and average. And also in other category, we have the horizontal level in Pro mode, so the leveler and histogram. By tapping these buttons from the right, we can turn them on and off as we need. Now let me keep them turned on, and let's move back. Here we can see the histogram, and here at the center we have the leveler, so it should help us to keep our photographic topic straight at our photo and our device steady. And this is what I want to show you on this kind of Pro mode. Now let me use the settings to take a picture. So maybe here, as I said, the exposure compensation should be locked because I want to use this. And the white balance, maybe here. To see the photo, let's move to the left to this button. When we tap here, we get quick access to the gallery, and this is how it works here. I suggest you to making experiments with that and just have a good fun. Thanks for watching, subscribe to the channel and leave the thumbs up.